Hello everyone. In this tutorial we are going to see looping statements in Python. Looping statement, loop or iterative statements. To loop means to do something again and again, and to iterate also means to do something repeatedly again and again. So these control structures are used to execute statement or block of statements again and again depending on certain condition. So let's understand the working of loop using flowchart. As we can see, a simple logic of a loop or iterative statements. So we will enter the loop from here, that is some statement can be before the loops. So we will come to the condition first in the loop. Condition will be checked, and as we all know, condition can either be true or false. So if the condition will be true, that means we are allowed to enter the loop body, and body of loop will be executed by the Python interpreter. And from here we will go to the update expression that can mean different things for different loops, and from here we will come to the condition again. So as long as the condition is true, we will be executing these three blocks again and again. That means we will check the condition. If it is true, we will go to body of loop, then we will go to update expression, then we will again come to condition. This will be continue as long as the condition is true. When the condition becomes false, we will come out of the loop, and the statements after the loop will be executed by the interpreter after the loop. So let's see, we have two types of loops in Python. One is known as while loop and the other one is known as for loop. So first we are going to understand the working of while loop. While loop, a simple syntax for while loop is while, then we will have condition, a colon sign because the block is following the while loop, so we will have condition and then colon sign. Then after some indent we will write body of loop, that means all the statement which we want to loop or execute again and again will be written here. Then we will have update expression which will decide the execution of the loop. So in while loop, loop body is repeatedly executed as long as the condition is true. We will come out of the loop only when the condition becomes false. Let's see a code below to add natural numbers from 1 to 10. So we are going to see code using while loop which will add number from 1 to 10. So if you want to make this program using while loop, we will have to say I is equal to 1 first. That means we will create a variable I which stores the value 1. Then sum is equal to 0 because we want to add numbers again and again, or we can say repeatedly or successively. In such case we will initialize the variable with 0, and likewise if we want to multiply something successively in a single variable, we will initialize the variable by 1. So sum is equal to 0 because we want to add numbers to variable sum again and again. So while I is less than or equal to 10, so that is a while loop. We have written a condition here that if the value of I is less than or equal to 10, we will come inside the loop and we will say sum is equal to the previous sum plus the value of I. These will be added and stored to the variable sum again. And then we will update the value of I because this is our variable which decides the execution of the while loop. So we will increase it by 1, that is I equal to I plus 1, that means previous value of I will be added 1 and it will be again stored to I. So this is our loop. So if we want to see the execution of the loop, let's see. For the first time I will be 1 is less than or equal to 10 is true, will come inside the loop. Since the sum is 0 first time, 0 plus value of I which is 1 will become 1 and it will be stored in some variable. Then I is equal to I plus 1 will result into 2 because I is 1 plus 1 will be equal to the new value of I will be 2. From here we will again go to while loops condition and this time the value of I has become 2 now. So we will check 2 is less than or equal to 10. Again the condition is true, so we will again come inside the loop and sum is equal to previous sum plus I, and as we can remember, the previous value of sum was 1, value of I right now is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, it will be stored in sum, but the new value of sum is 3. Likewise, value of I was 2 plus 1 will become 3, the value of I will be 3. From here we will again go to the condition of the while loop, that I is less than or equal to 10, I become 3, 3 is less than or equal to 10, true, sum is equal to previous sum which was 3 plus 3 will become 6, and I equal to I plus 1 will become 4. So in this way the loop will continue, and finally the I value of I will reach to 11. 11 is less than or equal to 10 will be false, and in that condition we will come out of the loop and the print sum statement will be executed, which will give us the sum of all the numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, so let's see this program in our Python IDLE editor. I is equal to 1, sum is equal to 0, while I is less than or equal to 10, sum is equal to sum plus I is equal to I plus 1, print sum. Okay, so let's see. After saving the program, let me run it. So we got 55 as a result, which is the sum of all the numbers from 1 to 10, right? So this is how your while loop will work. Now let's try to understand for loop. So the syntax for loop is for variable in sequence, body of loop. So here the variable will take one value at a time from the sequence, and that value can be used inside the body of loops. So in for loop, variable will take one value at a time from the sequence and loop will run for each value in sequence. That means the variable will have one value at a time from the sequence, and this means the loop will run length of sequence time. That means it will depend the number of element inside the sequence. If there are 5 elements in the sequence, the loop will iterate 5 times. If there are 10 elements in the sequence, the loop will iterate 10 times, and likewise. So let's see the code. Below to add natural numbers from 1 to 10, just like we have done in while loop. So here we have a different code because of the different approach of for loop. So we will say sum is equal to 0. We are not saying I equal to 1 here because that is not required for loop. For I in sequence, so we have created a sequence. In Python, list is a sequence we should know, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are the values inside the sequence. So the variable I, which is loop counter variable, also will take one value at a time from the list, and we will work or execute body of loop with that value. For example, when the first time loop will iterate, it will take value 1. That means the value of I will be 1, and we will come inside the body of loop. So sum equal to sum, which is 0 because we have initialized it with 0, plus value of I, which is 1, will become 1 as the value of sum. Next time when the loop will iterate, we will get I as 2, that means I equal to 2. We will come inside the loop, and sum, which was 1, plus value of I, which is 2. 1 plus 2 will become 3, the new value of sum. And then next time when the loop iterates, we will get I as 3, that means I equal to 3, and the sum will become sum equal to sum plus I. Previous sum was 3, value of I is also 3. 3 plus 3 will become 6 as the value of sum. Likewise, we will have value of I as 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up to 10, and the loop will work with each value of I, and finally when we don't have any value left inside the sequence, we will come out of the loop and we will print the sum of the numbers we have added, right? Let's see how this program will work in our Python editor. So we want to say sum is equal to 0 for I in list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. So we will have 1 to 10 numbers here as a sequence, and we don't want this statement this time because the value of I will automatically be 1, 2, 3 up to 10 because of the for loops working. So let's save the file and let's run the program, and we can see the result at 55 again. So we can see this way the for loop will work. So in order to work more efficiently in for loop, we don't always have to write the sequence in this way. We can generate the sequence using the range function. That will be an easier one for us. So in order to write better codes, we are going to learn how range will work. So the syntax for range function is range start and comma step. Because start and step are optional, so they are being written in square brackets. So only the AND value is compulsory inside the range function. Start and step are optional. So how they will work, we will see in the examples. Range function is a function which can generate sequence from start to and -1 with step given. 0 is the default value for start and 1 is the default step value. It means if we don't write start and step, start will be 0 and step will be 1 by default. For example, consider the following range functions and the sequence they will return. So this will give you a fair understanding of range function. So let's see. If we write range 1, 10, 1 and range 1, 10, that means these two are same. Either we can write range 1, 10, 1 or we can write range 1, 10. Why? Because this will give start as 1, end as 10 and step as 1 because of the default value of step, and this will generate 1, 2 because step is 1, so start value is 1, then is 2, 3 because the step is 1, so every time it will be added by 1, 3, 4, 5 up to 9. Why 9? Why not up to 10? Because it will generate the value end -1. The end is not included in the sequence. Similarly, when we write range 1, 10, 2, so you should able to guess this time what will be the sequence generated by this function. So start will be 1, end is 10 and we will have a step of 2. That means first will be 1. After adding 2 we will get 3. After adding 2 we will, because step is 2, so after adding 2 we will get 5, then 7, then 9 and 10 is not included. Likewise, if we write range 10 which is also equal to range 0, 10, 1, will generate a sequence of starting from 0 because the start value by default is 0 and step is by default 1, so we will get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up to 9. Likewise, if we write range 10, 1, it will generate an empty sequence because of positive step value of 1. So when we specify first value greater than the second one, then the step should be also negative. For example, we can see here when we write range 10, 1, the step should not be default 1, it should be -1. So in this way it will generate your sequence as 10, 9, 8 because every time it will be subtracted by 1. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Why? Because 1 is not included. Range 10, 1 minus 2 will give you 10, 8, 6, 4 and 2, and is never included. So this is how your range function works. So we can see some of the examples of range function. See, if I write list, I am writing list because if I don't write list, it will not give me anything. For example, if I write range 10, I will just get range 0 to 10. That is how function will work. So we will want to display the list, so we will write range 10, so it will give us 0 to 10, as I have already explained. Likewise, if I write list 1 comma 10, sorry, range 1 comma 10, it will give me 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, but 10 is not included, and this time I have specified start value as 1. Last time it was by default 0. Likewise, if I write list range 1 comma 10 with a step of 1, so there will be no change, we will get the same list because by default the step is 10. List range 1 comma 10 comma 2, so we will get 1 2 3 sorry 1 3 5 7 9. List, if I say range 10 comma 1, we will get nothing because we haven't done things in a right way. So we will have to write list range 10 comma 1, and if you want to go in reverse direction, we will have to specify step as -1. So this time we will get 10 9 up to 2. List range 10 comma 1 comma -2, this will give us 10 8 6 4 and 2. So this is how your range function will work. So we are going back to the previous discussion of for loop. So for the same program, we can write sum equal to 0 for I in range 1 comma 11 comma 1. Why 11? Because unless we write 11, we will not get the value 10. So 1 comma 11 comma 1, 1 by default step is 1, so we don't have to write this one, but we are writing here just to explain that start value is 1, end value is 11, and step is 1. So we will get a range. We can also write list in front of range function, but it is not required here. We will get a range or a list of 1 to 10, and that will work as the value for I every time, and it will calculate sum equal to sum plus I and will print the sum value. So let's see how it will work. So we are just changing small part of the program. We are writing here range 1 comma 11 comma 1. We can also write list in front of this function like this, but that is not required actually, so I am not doing that. That is not a good practice. So let's run it, just saving it. So we will see we have got answer 55 again. That means the code has worked exactly the same way it has worked earlier, right? We can omit this 1 here, that will also give us the same result. Let's try to run the program and see the result. So we can see again we have got 5. So these are your assignments. You can try these programs, and you can use either for loop or while loop, or you can use both in order to create these programs just to practice purpose. we will see some advanced topics on for loops in coming videos. Please like and share the video. Also subscribe the channel for more videos. Thank you.